day. Welcome, everyone. My name is McNeil. Um, First name is actually Bongani, and my surname is Pony. Um, this is what we call MilaniBongani M Health. So this podcast is really just focused on talking about mental health. So we'll talk to psychologists like the one I have to my left. We'll talk to psychiatrists, but we'll also have mental testimonials. So I don't like the word mental health sufferers because I feel the word is I don't like it. The other thing is why I'm doing this is that I feel like if you were to say you want to take 10 days off because you want to go to the hospital because you have hypertension, no one at work or in your family will have a problem with it. But if you say you have to take off 10 days off to go to a mental clinic, it is an issue, you know? If people talk about, if you say you have anxiety or you have depression, then it is being told you are bewitched, or there's someone in the family, we need to go to Sangoma or not. So don't get twisted. I'm not against the cultural practices. I'm in favor of it. So don't get it twisted. I'm just saying, what we want to achieve out of this is with MilaniBongani M Health is to make sure that, like, if you have a mental issue, it is almost spoken like you have a cough. You know, someone recently close by had a cough, but we didn't have an issue with it. But if someone said they just had a panic attack, or they're depressed, or they had an outburst, they have an attack. You know, the other thing is what we need to learn is, for example, like, I grew up from a very, 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 very rough place, but I was privileged. My parents had worked, but I grew up in Paul, but in the flats of Paul. But it's not just a Paul thing; it's a general thing. So people have conflicts. So part of this whole podcast we'll talk about, not maybe today, but we'll talk about conflict and love, attention seeking, everything about that. But for example, if you have two 6-year-olds who have an conflict or an argument, it's people are people. They cannot agree with something, but then when they have the fight, the one who loses the fight, and I'm not condoning fighting, but normally people or at that age they fight, and then the one who loses come back the next day and stabs the other one. So we don't want to have that. So this is not just for adults, it's not just for couples, these are making differences in people's lives. We need to make sure people know how to deal with grief, with trust, with conflict management, you know. I remember one time I was in high school, one of my teachers had to hide in high school. I had to hide the kid in the boot of the car because the gangsters were waiting outside for him because they had a conflict. So we need to, before we start saying we want to change South Africa and the world, we also need to understand the mental space of people and then teach people how to deal with all of these different topics. But love, grief, trust, support, and all of these things. So that is my introduction. I'll introduce you to my guest. He is. Let me not talk for him. Let him talk for himself. He will introduce himself.
Yeah, good day everyone. Thank you so much again for inviting me. It's been quite a while since I've seen you. You know what I mean by that. But nonetheless, my name is Benedict Mhlongo. I'm a therapist trained at WITS, also doing my PhD there, lecturer as well. Quite active in your media spaces. I host quite a few shows on TV and also on radio as well. So thank you guys for joining us today. As he mentioned, the only thing that actually brought me here today is the part where mental health, and I'm very excited the fact that it's more around the advocacy as well. So yeah, sit back and enjoy. It's going to be a very chilled, fun, happy conversation.
Yeah, so it's going to be a combination of talking about the topic, but also about the session. So our first topic will be about love and relationships. I think love in relationships, it comes in different forms. So there's your romantic love, there's your love with your parents, there's your love with your friends.
Yeah,
you know,
no, you're right,
and
definitely.
all of that stuff. And then there's your love with your brothers and your sisters. You know. So I just want to ask you, as a psychologist, a trained psychologist, close to being a PhD, what is your view on love across all formats? I really want to know it across all formats and relationships, and also, like, why do we have 50%, for example, if you talk about divorce, why do we have 50% divorce rate? You know, for example, like, just when you go through your thing, like, for example, why do second marriages work better than first marriages? You know, why do people say I love you, but they have not even married? It's like, we can be 25 years old, we can be married, so not married, we can be boyfriend and girlfriend, and then yet you still have other two boyfriends. So does the word love, what does it mean? You know, is it really there? You know, and then I'll give you. Sorry about that. And then lastly, it's just about, love between siblings. Like, for example, why do some people only get phone calls on the 25th? But they don't get phone calls throughout the month.
Yeah.
Like, how are you doing? Why do parents love the one kid over the other one? Why would they, when the one kid complains, then the other one kid get the problems? So there's many forms of love and relationships. So that's why I'm saying it's not just, so it's an open topic, but across all formats. So I'll give you the time to just talk about that.
Very important question. I think the one that you're tapping on, and especially the examples that you're expanding on, they're very experiential in the sense that they happen on a daily basis as well, and they become later in life, they become quite traumatic. They become traumas as well. But I think what we define and what we call in love, I think for me, love is a very performative gesture as well. It's the highest commodity that one can actually give and one can actually hold as well. I think love is what binds us as human beings, and only that is when we see the true art of the behavior of actually human being. Derived from any kind of animals. Animals fight for the greater good of actually gaining mating rights. By virtue of us, we are also Homo sapiens as well. So I think love for me is that building block then to build another generation as well. So for procreation, a lot of the times people need that to be involved. If there's no life, then there's no foundation for us then to procreate, or actually then as a rite of passage go to the next step, be it marriage, be it moving, be it anyhow. So love is then actually shared in a variety of forms as well. Love is Zeta Walla in the morning with a brother that love is giving my car guard every morning just that 2 raniana or that 2-second type of conversation when I'm rushing to the office. Love is also just showing respect and love to other pedestrians or other, roadside travel people on the roads as well. Love is saying good morning to your mom every day as well. Love is just saying good night to your significant other. Love is also opening the doors for a particular person that you don't know. Love is chivalry as well. So there are different forms of love. Love is not only said, but love is, for me, is something that is performed. And that for me is a universal language that binds us all. So by virtue of, for instance, I went downstairs, I greeted the person before I ordered the food. That for me is love. I don't need to say I love you, but the way I act. So again, love is then expanded to what we call respect as well. So if I respect, it means I accept you, it means I love you as well. Love means that I'm on time. Love means you calling me in frantically, how far are you, where are you? That is love as well. So for me, the performative of actually the true nature of love is seen in through kind gestures as well. So it's very much important. So it goes across all fields, whether you're a brother, you're a sister, you a son, you're a daughter, you're a significant other. But by virtue of me being in close proximity with you or communicating, it means I'm still very much in love with you.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'll start with then with family love. You mentioned it, but I'll frame it a different way. The 25th call.
Mm.
Is that love? If you were raised together, you are siblings. You were raised together. You shared a lot together, but now you're older. But now you only get the call on the 24th. Sorry, on the 25th. You all got the same opportunities. Is the 25th, as you said, love is just saying about have a great week, for example, on a Monday.
Yeah.
So what is the 25th? If siblings only phone on the 25th, for example, siblings know that this week is a long weekend.
Yeah.
They know to phone you on the 22nd. They didn't try to phone you on the 25th because they knew it's a long weekend, so most companies probably pay you on the 22nd.
Yep.
So if you don't check up on me, and then you phone on the 25th, so I call it the 25th.
Yeah.
The 25th. Is the 25th love?
Yeah,
Between siblings and family, mothers, kids, mothers, uncles, is the 25th across family, not just brothers or sisters or uncle, like all of them, friends as well. Is the 25th call on the 25th? Is that love? And you don't call me throughout the month.
You only call me on the 25th. I think that it's still love, McNeil. I don't want us to actually, overcrowd it by virtue of it only, the communication only exists on the 25th. The reason why I say it's still love, because I mean, it's a transactional type of love. It's a reciprocal type of love. Although it has underlying connotations of it being negative, but nonetheless, it's still love. Because it's reciprocal in the sense that I raised you, you are my son or daughter, you're my sister or brother, but I was there in your early developmental stages of life, which again is unfair. It doesn't mean that I owe you, though.
Yeah, because you're talking. For me, it felt like now you're saying I owe you.
Exactly.
No. Like God just used you as a vehicle to get me onto the earth. It doesn't mean I owe you forever. If you made bad decisions, like you can't now put my life at risk.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's why I like the way you said "oh," because I don't want it to come across as "oh."
No, it's not. And it shouldn't be. But then it becomes that when it comes to what again? Because I mean, that for me already is an environment that has a lot of toxicity. And a lot of the times there is a level of, whether it's intoxication, there is a level of, again, the choosing of particular siblings within the kids that the mother actually has. They know that there's one, because you mentioned something important, that we are all raised and born given the same opportunities. So it doesn't mean that I've just been blessed a little bit. It means that I actually then owe you. I'm blessed because I worked hard, Sithi Zulu kubusiso osebenzayo. So if you're not out there, you're not going to gain anything at all. So it's important for us to then understand, because I remember if a parent is then calling you on the 25th, or a sibling is calling you on the 25th, the onus is on you then to condition them that, listen, this is or a friend as well. The onus is actually on you to condition them and build boundaries. But I mean, look at our skin color.
How do you do that? How do you? So now our skin color. Exactly. How do you build the boundaries? It's hard to build the boundaries. I can't speak for white people, or I can't speak for colored people, but I can speak for black people, because I'm a black person. How do you build those boundaries?
It's a tough one, because the minute you build a boundary as a black man or a black female, you're ostracized.
You're ostracized. You are, and that's the problem. So, what is your? Now, I'm gonna ask you the question. You build the boundaries. You accept being ostracized, or you keep with how it is going? What is your answer there?
It's a twofold one, because I mean, you accept or keep what's going. It means that I'm gonna fake good, by virtue of actually being accepted and loved. But if I then build boundary, I'm called, selfish, I'm ostracized, but also it's a healthy one. It means no one can actually penetrate through to me as well. So my mom needs to understand, my friend or sibling, whoever they are, they need to understand that, listen, if you want 500 Rand at least, how much do you have for me to actually contribute to that? So it's important to communicate in a manner that is healthy, because already that is dysfunctional. You need to keep away from such things as well. Not family, but the toxicity that then exists. But do not define a person entirely to say, lo muntu so.
So, part of what I created this, I've been to a mental clinic for 3 times in my life. They teach you all these wonderful things about having courageous conversations, having trust, and like all of that stuff. You can have a courageous conversation, but when you get out of that mental clinic, the person you speak to doesn't have that stuff. So, as you said, so my point is like, the other person doesn't get it. So then where does it end? So my thing is, I think the biggest thing is, when it comes to especially to family love, people are more scared of being ostracized, but putting yourself at risk. So now the other question is love for yourself. So now we're going to love for yourself. So now you're putting yourself in danger. Remember, you use the word "oh," like. Again, I'm not gonna go into religion or whether you're an atheist or not, but I think you were brought onto this earth, whatever religion you believe in, by God, or if an atheist, whatever method you believe, you were brought onto this earth. You as a parent or a sibling or whoever got the chance to take me through it. But now I need to love myself. I can't be living now with 2,000 Rand a month, but I must pay for everyone. You yourself are going through mental issues, depression, because you didn't have money. Then you had to go borrow. So my thing is so that's... I put that to you. Love for yourself. So when do you put yourself first? And is putting yourself first selfish or loving yourself?
Yeah, I mean, again, that's a very important one, especially when you dissect it in that terms. I feel like for me, you're opening up something very pivotal here, that a lot of I'll speak for black people, actually, people of color. I think majority of us suffer from a lot of mental disorders, but we can't pinpoint them and actually define them by virtue of actually being impoverished, not only in terms of not having but also not knowing. Because if I'm actually now, as you mentioned, I've got 2,000 Rand, I've got so many siblings that I'm now responsible for, I'm not going out, I'm not doing things that actually require me from this developmental stage that I need to do, I'm not meeting peers, I'm always coming late at work, or I'm always having a lunchbox. Already I'm termed in a certain way, but by virtue of me being there, it means that certain things are covered, but I'm losing a sense of self. So loving me is actually not even on the table. So how do I then allow another person to come in? Because now this also invites, the conversation of relationships.
What's more important, loving me or loving everyone else?
Loving me. Because if I'm able to love me...
So then, as you said, then if loving me is important, how do you deal with being ostracized? Because I can't speak for the white community or the Indian community or the colored community. I can speak for the black community. How do you deal with that?
That's a tough one. Because already
so we have an issue.
You're an anomaly already.
We have an issue. So how do we solve it?
That's a huge one.
Start with.
That's a huge one, Miguel.
So we need to start to deal with this issue.
Exactly. Because a lot of the times, and more when you look at, especially, a lot of people get married to run away from such. that is still them ostracizing themselves. Because if you're married, everything that you do is for this particular family that you are creating. But also there are a lot of people looking at you and be like, this guy, you're a sellout, you did this, you're not actually... Still, you're ostracized.
Okay.
Whatever option you choose, you still actually have that element of actually seeing that you've actually now are seen as the other.
Okay, so now you talked about marriage. Yeah. So I can so now like I'll make an example for me. I meet Uma. Like when I say Uma, I mean my girlfriend that I now propose to.
Okay.
Hey, and she's saying, hey booty, 25% of of your salary, of your income goes to other things. Ne? Then let's say, how do you handle that thing? Because that also is impacted now. Because Uma says, hi, Fontaine, like 25%, you already, remember we spoke about the 2,000 Rand. So we only have 2,000 Rand, now it's two of us. How do you deal with that part in love? So then now it's about love in relationships. Love with your new wife. You like hypoputi your Jesus. Like, sorry for all Christians for saying Jesus. I apologize. Yeah, but
that's a tough one though. I mean, but also again, Migna, that's the foundation of your own home or your own space. If I don't think she needs to say.
But you know it happens in the black community, Booty.
Yes, a lot of the time.
But it happens in the black community.
But it depends what you're comfortable with, though. When she says 25% goes to other things, what are those other things?
The 25th is right for. But my thing is like this: like, why should if all of the family, for example, was given the same chance, one dropped out, one chose that way. Why should you be like just going back to the 25th? Like why, eyeball?
Yes, because we're all given equal opportunities.
That's my thing.
It's a tough one. I mean, it's a tough one.
But you also, as a human being, you also want to sleep at night. You don't want to say,
conscious.
I left my sister or my brother or my uncle like behind. But then, you said the question is love for self.
Because, I mean, that's also important.
And boundaries.
Boundaries are very key. I think for me, the minute you start creating boundaries, you are seen as the other, ostracized, as I mentioned. But boundaries is a very difficult thing. It's a sketchy topic for us because, I mean, it's something that we don't know. And the only boundary we know is that, this person is very, steadfast, this person. And then we know that's a boundary. So it means that you need to carry this persona of actually people can't talk anything towards you. But again, you want to be chilled. You can't be going around actually being angry and mad so people don't approach you as well. So a boundary is a very difficult thing in our own light, in our own society for now. People see it as you now think you are better. You think you've made it.
Can I ask a question? Do you think these things should be taught in LO in schools?
Yes.
My belief is these things should be starting to be taught. In grade 1 you write A, you do the patterns. It's normally in grade 5. So I went to an Afrikaans school. So in grade 5 is when we learn to speak English. Like we learn it. So my suggestion is all of these things, like these mental health topics and stuff like that. And I'm not saying mental health. So boundaries is not a mental health topic, but it leads to something that causes mental health.
Correct.
Issues. So should these things be brought in from, like, for example, grade 5 in LO?
Yes.
Because in LO they teach you how to use a condom.
Nah, that's
nowadays.
Just
no. Again, if I'm incorrect, please forgive me. But the way I see it, it's just they're teaching you how to use a condom. They don't teach you how to deal with loss.
Nah, bro.
With
life
love.
Skills, nothing.
If the girl leaves you, they don't teach you how to. Now another part of love, abuse.
No.
Like how do you get eyeball? You say you love this person, but you slap this person.
No.
Eyeball Fontaine. How's that love?
No,
So
it's
so
not
so
wrong.
then how? Like, where's the issue? Where should we start with the issue now? Like, like, hey, a married woman is being cheated, or a girlfriend is being cheated on 3 times. But she said, no, he loves me. I was a smooth talker, mna.
Nah,
Smooth
charismatic.
talker. So how does that, like, so no? You see, when we talk about love and relationships, and there's
Yeah.
that topic.
Because that
So how is
contributes a
that?
lot.
What's going on there? I want to know from you.
Because I mean that contributes a lot to how men actually later grow up and actually having this inability to just talk.
Can I just say it's not men anymore, it's both. So I would correct you there, my dear sir. Even women
Women as
now,
well.
hey, they abuse you, and they also, yeah. So let's keep it.
Neutral. That observing all
Historically,
genders.
it was men. Truthfully, how about now? Yeah, man. A woman can have a man in 3 cities, man, and she loves you. So we're talking
In that
about,
one city.
your point.
I hear you. But my point was actually around that. I mean, you're right in saying, I mean, LO should be actually, I mean, it's called life skills. You know, there needs to be an element of life skills that I learned from that. And contributing factors, again, when you get to LO, you're right. They get excited. They're going to be taught about the condoms. I mean, you know, their body. But I mean, they're not taught about, you know, friendship breakups as well, especially women who go through such things quite often than not. And a lot of men also do not know how to communicate as well. So there are a lot of things that needs to be taught in that particular period as well.
Can I tell you, friendship breakups? You mentioned it there. There was a person who was very, very, not wise, man. He is very dear to me. He was there for me through much. But through my mental health issues and the times that I went through, I wasn't there the best for him.
Yes.
And he brought it up. Ne? Then I phoned him. And I said, I apologized. I brought up all the examples. And I said I loved you. But I felt it was time to. Because I don't want to keep it anymore. I've lost a friend I love. But I think sometimes love also means
Letting go.
letting go. Your view?
Oh, it's a tough one. And it's very important. It's only a few that actually have such insight that they can see that a relationship has also reached its stale part as well. Because by virtue of that, I mean, there are certain people who come and go. It doesn't mean that they actually have lifetime and amenity in our lives as well. So that, I think I commend you for having such insight as well, to see that, you know, you were told of your wrongs. You're also able to then reflect and say, no, I apologize. A, B, C, D, F, what, I'm wrong. But also, I still love you. But also, you acknowledge that that was the end.
Yeah, so for me, it's like, I think that's the biggest part. Like, well, you talk about love. You know me, I love work.
Yeah.
You said I must stop being a workaholic. So, you did say. Ne? So recently I broke up about where I worked. Ne? And then I wrote in my what's it called, resignation letter, that no, I loved working here, I have no problem, but it is just like breaking up with a girl and saying, like, I love you, I still care for you, but it's time to move on. Like, I wish I can have that quote. I don't know if you watch what is it called, the show The Blacklist. Ne? Part of this, I'll ask the podcast producers, and I'll probably have to get permission from the thing to use that. But they say sometimes you just, sometimes you just have to look for new beginnings. Sometimes I don't know. I think I sent you the quote. It's on TikTok. It's very big. It's about the blacklist. But I think, but for me that's important. So here's the thing, love, no? Love. why is it easy for a person to say, I'll be there for you through sickness and in health? And through what, I don't know what these vows are, but they talk about poorness as well there.
Yeah.
But once you lost your job, she leaves you. Is that love? So why is love fickle? Why is love, basically what I'm saying is, why is love materialized, and why is love now made, what do you call it? I'm bad at English, man. So please forgive me. Made situationalized. So, for example, I lose my legs. Now she doesn't want to be with me. I'm like, but we were there and then in the church. I paid 200,000 rand for a baller. Hey, the wedding was like 300,000 rand. We had a white, black wedding. I lose my legs. Now, all those vows are forgotten. Then, I get retrenched. She leaves. Or he leaves. So let me, I just want to be gender neutral. Why is love fickle? Is it really love? Does people really know what love is?
I think you
because sorry to bother you there, Doc. Because the stats are saying 50% funding, so it's not something that I'm making up. So why is love fickle?
Because love is situational. Love, I think also we for a lot of the times we looked at love in a very, I don't know, love is very romanticized. I think for me it's overly romanticized in the sense that love then becomes a fairy tale, which it isn't. Love is culture. Why am I saying love is culture? Culture is something that is not static, it's dynamic. So love in 2001 versus love in 2023 is very different. People are dynamic. People are not, people are fluid. There are a lot of experiences that people experience and go through that change and actually re-narrate their own love and how they view each other. So if you're going to look at love from a romantic type of, it's going to be all fairy tale. So it means it's perfect, it's clean. And that's where the majority of breakups where contribute to this 50-50 actually lies. But more often than times, men and women do then ask questions like, but we're not going to eat love for dinner every day.
But you're the one who said the through poorness and whatever. I don't know these vows, what they say when they get married, or sickness in health, whatever. You're the one who said that. So you were lying there.
No.
So don't say things that you don't mean more.
Are we role playing now?
I'm just saying. Then they're saying things most. Then people are saying things most. That doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's my next question. Then
Okay.
should we just again to the people who read the Bible, they say it's best to be unmarried. Paul and Jesus said that. It's best. So why are we doing these things?
Because it's part of culture. It's part of the rite of passage. A lot of people then say, I want to get married. I mean, if you're going to look at it from a spiritual sense, it's seen as a rite of passage. After baptism, after Holy Communal confirmation, you then need to get married, and then the last one is death. This is from a Catholic type of denomination perspective. But I mean, love or marriage is then actually seen as, because a marriage is the next step. Relationship-wise, it's fine to see it as a fairy tale. But marriage is a lot of things that actually makes the marriage work. Apart from love. Communication, teamwork, understanding each other's individualism, families that are also involved. There are a lot of things also in patience.
But people don't know this. They don't practice it. Who tells them? Then the pastor there, when they go to the marriage counseling. You see, they don't know. Please mention all those things that marriage is about or love is about. Say it again.
Love definitely. Marriage is all about actual understanding, communication, financial power, and also understanding your part, and also understanding that we're bringing two families together as well.
Well, yeah, so basically you say financial power. If you're broke, it's late for you.
But the stats though, a lot of, I don't want to say broke, but a lot of the people who do not have money in this country are married. A lot of people who do not have money have babies. There's also another study that we need to do, though.
But the question is not that, Doc. Here, so here's the misunderstanding we're having there. I'm saying I was a high manager. I was retrenched. She left. So and then you mentioned financial power.
Yeah.
So why did she leave? You know how many people got married, divorced during COVID? It's higher in the percentage than it was before. COVID divorce rates were high. So like people ask me why don't I go to marriages? I'm like, these people are just talking nonsense. There, sorry, to say that, but because these things happen.
No, they do.
And
they do,
again,
they
I forgive. Sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Like if I am, but I'm like, the stats are there. Like the rates of divorces went up in COVID.
Very high. You're right. They're very high. But
so then, what's the point? So we do what Paul and Jesus said. Stay unmarried.
Or do you do what other men would do? Actually, hold the fire while it's hot, because they made a commitment.
What does that mean?
It means through thick and thin. That's another vow that people say.
But you said marriage is a partnership. So her as well.
She also needs to play a part. You also need to play your part.
Yeah, but you can't be there you can't talk for the other person. She chooses to leave. Like, so that's my thing. What I always say is that you have two people coming into an institution. They really need to believe both in that institution. If they don't, then love and relationships don't matter, whether it's friendships or any form of thing. Whether it's your brother, your sister, your sibling, it is three people that come into an institution and they recognize and they know they parts that they play.
Rightfully so, but you must also remember the history of marriage, that marriage also is derived from arranged marriages as well, for economic, exploration or economic exchange between particular families that are seen as mighty in particular cultural homesteads as well. So marriage, by virtue of you marrying into another family, it means that our family is going to have more cattle now, or our family is going to have more maize or anything. So if we take that connotation to where it is right now, there are a lot of the times where people marry into that as well. So where love is absent.
So you agree with Paul to be unmarried?
No, not really. I want to get married, and I know you also want to get married one day.
I know. Yeah, but I'm a tough person to handle. I'm a tough person to handle. I'm glad. I'm a tough person to handle. But I believe, but one thing people can never say about me, I believe in an institution, respect, and keeping to what we said. If I get married, I'm 34, I'm single. Me, I stayed single for 8 years hoping someone comes back. So I'm committed. So don't worry. Me, I'll be very married. I made a few mistakes. That's good. Made a few mistakes recently. Yeah, but so here's the thing. So now we're gonna go to the personal part now.
All right.
We talked about we said we're gonna be both. Man, 8 years. I regretted, man.
You waited.
I regretted so much. I regretted.
Did you end up writing letters though?
No, the letters are. I don't want to write letters about those things, but I write letters about the other situations.
But
but the 80s I regretted.
Was it hope? Was it what? Or did you still believe that?
No, because I believed what we had. We were together for forever, whatever we were together. I believe what we had was good enough. And when the misunderstanding, this is the thing, it's also about misunderstandings, how we dealt with it. I thought it was like, no, the 3 years we said all these things to each other. So basically, no, then she's gonna come back because she said that. So maybe you're like, maybe she's gonna be angry just for a year, then she's gonna come back. 8 years, no.
Ish.
So basically, what we're all doing is basically just talking nonsense to each other. If I'm correct, because divorce rates, breakups, now people are what do you call it? polygamous,
polyamorous,
what's the other English word?
the poly one.
The polymerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, help me with English sometimes. Like the polymerous one, no.
Polyamory, yeah.
Yeah, I have one in Cape Town, Durban. I have one in Joburg. You know, especially now we are virtual.
Yeah.
Ooh, but what's that word called? Polymerous is
Yeah,
gonna go up.
yeah.
It's gonna go up. It's gonna go up. So yeah.
But
Where are we going with love and relationships with that in a and you said you mustn't romanticize it. I know you said you mustn't romanticize it. So should we just do what Paul said, man?
Nah, I don't think so. I think there's still
no.
hope, man. I think there's definitely still hope. By virtue of you having waited 8 years, it meant that, and I can imagine you, dude. Every Christmas, how would you be? Like every Christmas, what would you do?
I lost my 20s. It's
Waiting.
not her fault. It's my fault.
Okay.
So basically, why did I lose 8 years? Why did I think about that? It's not her fault. I'm not blaming her at all. It is my fault. So why did I wait 8 years?
Because I mean, you practically imprisoned yourself.
I was speaking I imprisoned myself. What does it mean?
It meant that in the 8 years, actually, as you said, you lost all your 20s. You were just waiting for this person.
But why?
Were you open to dating?
No.
Exactly.
I was waiting. I was hoping she was gonna come back. I was hoping she was coming back.
Were you in communication? Did you try reaching out?
Hey, sometimes just when the alcohol was there, then I tried. But other than that, no. I was just hoping.
Ah, shame. Sorry, man. I'm glad you don't blame her, though. She didn't put you to that.
You can't blame her. It was me who made the choice to hope.
Dude.
She did nothing wrong. But why? I'm asking. I hadn't talk about her.
Why did you wait? The question is, why did you wait?
My question is, why did I wait 8 years from a psychological perspective?
Is it the idea of hope? Hope is something that is also, I don't want to say it's fickle, but it's almost seeing it or believing in a higher power, that one day things will be better, one day things will get well. So hope actually works in that psychological form to say that tomorrow is just another day. Tomorrow, as much as things were bad today, it was raining cats and dogs, but the sun is going to shine the next day.
Is it the same way people say in abusive relationships?
Yeah.
Oh,
there are a lot of things there. There's trauma bonding, but still, there's still hope that I love.
What is trauma bonding? Tell the people what trauma bonding is.
Trauma bonding is when you're in a very abusive relationship, whether you're a female or male, and also it doesn't have to be physical, can be emotional, can be psychological. So you stay in that relationship to a point where you even mimic and learn the behaviors of your partner who then actually abuses you. For instance, if he's actually a black collar male who works in the industrial sector, who actually earns or gets a salary in the fortnight, you know that on a Friday, especially now it's a long weekend.
Please tell the youngsters what a fortnight is.
A fortnight is a person who
14
earns
14 days.
Yeah, in 14 days.
They don't know. They don't. Bro. I'm at 2000s. Also gonna see this. They don't know what a fortnight is. It's 14 days.
A fortnight is a person who earns money on a 14 days cycle. Okay, and normally they work in a hard labor type of setup as well.
About 2000, we also speak to about 2000s.
They need to understand.
Yeah, they don't know what a fortnight is. They must tell them in LO as well.
Yeah, you're right. Let's not leave them behind. So trauma bonding, you learn your partner actually. You get to know that abuse is going to come on this particular day. When he starts playing this particular song, when he starts this argument or this topic, you know exactly. When he comes home drunk, when she comes home drunk, you know exactly there's going to actually be enough level of abuse.
So, there was this one, you know, the other one I told you about.
Mm-hmm.
She said, don't come after 11, don't come drunk. Ne?
Yeah.
So my thing is alcohol and relationships. How does that work? So, like, if we go out, so I don't understand why I'm 34 years old, but we still say girlfriend. I don't understand. But because I'm probably dating a 32-year-old, she's not a girl, she's a woman.
Yeah.
So let's call it my woman friend. Is drinking, and then I'm drinking and I'm flirting. So, what is your thing on alcohol and relationships? More to romantic relationships? Yes. What is your view on that? And 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 also, when I ask this question, consider the setting.
Okay.
The setting at home or the setting when you go out. And also what I want you to consider is across all of the income or LSM classes. So lower classes, middle classes, higher classes. So those two I want you to consider. What is your view?
Great question again. Yeah, I think for me, too much of anything and everything is a problem. I don't want to sit here and actually, for you to get losses with the SAB. I think alcohol has no problem at all. But relationships, in terms of how much we have it, as well as what it builds. Too much of alcohol for me is the foundation of a toxic and dysfunctional relationship, be it intimate, interpersonal relationship.
Too much by the person or by the couple together?
The couple together, or even the one entity as well. Even if it's you being the girl, me being the male, either or. Too much of that is a problem.
And if you're going out?
And if we're going out,
like, well, I don't want to name clubs names, but let's go to a club. Like, you know, there's a specific spot in Bryanston.
Hey, you love that spot. Yo.
Don't say you love that spot.
You love that spot.
I stopped going there. You know, I knew all the bouncers. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right. But I think it's not problematic going out. Again, too much of it can be a problem. But I think having the necessary precautions put in place is actually wise and advisable. Requesting, not driving, not drinking and driving.
No, but I mean important. In the relationship. For example, cheating.
It leads to that as well.
Happens. I will tell you now. Most cheating happens. No. Again, I'm not. I used to be a researcher for 6 years, so I must be very careful about making statements.
Yeah.
Because I worked in research for 6 years, so I know how to say. But in my personal observation, that's a better way to say it. Let me know, because I didn't do research. Cheating happens a lot when alcohol is there.
True. Very
abuse happens a lot when alcohol is there. So let's tackle first cheating and then abuse with alcohol. Hey, you know, there was a song about the night. The night and alcohol.
People
those 50%, those chlamydias.
And those particular sports in Bryanston.
Don't leave me out of it. There's places in Sandton now as well, called out the kingdoms.
But there's something about the night and being intoxicated that people see themselves as being invincible as well. So cheating there's a high rate of actually cheating when people are actually out.
Can I ask you that? I cheated when I
really?
was drunk.
When? Oh, okay.
But you know, Akon said, the song, I don't blame it on the alcohol. Is it Akon? Who said, don't blame it on the alcohol? Don't blame it on the alcohol. I don't know who that asked it. Can't blame it on the alcohol, booty. So something was wrong beforehand.
Yeah, but I think...
So I think part of it, when you cheat, when you are drunk, you already wanted to leave.
Nah,
you already wanted to leave.
Truth in that, because a lot of the times people say when you say things when you're enraged or when you snap when you're drunk, they say 90% of those things that you say are true. So for instance, in my realm, psychology, which is, I think when a person cheats, it means it's something that they've always wanted to do. A person is not as loyal as committed.
What do they wanted to do? What do you mean?
Planned,
they wanted,
envisioned.
They wanted someone else.
Yes, they were hoping, they were envisioning.
Was it to hurt the other person, to punish the current person, or because they are out of the relationship?
Could be out of the relationship, as well as it's their own demise, their own longing, their own actually demons wanting to be fulfilled. their cravings. That's it. Has nothing to do with the other person or anything. A lot of the time, cheating is based on that.
You, Buddy, I don't know the Bible that very well, but Paul, that unmarried part.
Paul.
Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I agree with him. I don't know the Bible that very well. I told you, I don't know, but I saw the part where they said it must be it's better to be unmarried.
But I think you basing that, a lot of that, especially on your own experiences.
No, if what you telling people are cheating, cheating is rife. We have this new word, polymer. What's it? Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Polyamorous.
Again, I really apologize again.
It's called polyamorous.
What?
Polyamorous.
Polyamorous.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Yeah.
So is it
word
for both men and women?
Yeah.
So polygamy is when you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Polyamorous is if you have different boyfriends.
Yes, in a relationship.
And girlfriends.
Yeah.
I wanted to have go into polygamy, but
you need to get married then.
No, it was advised not to do it.
Mm-hmm. Nah, don't. Rather don't.
That's what we're doing. But anyway, the second part.
Yeah, the second part.
Abuse.
Yeah, it's an important one.
Alcohol.
It happens more often than time, because remember when you're intoxicated, it's like a lot of the times when we look at, or insurance investigators, when they find a bottle of alcohol, they consider that null and void. So with alcohol, perception, a lot of movement, locomotion is also just then affected by virtue of me being intoxicated. So it's easier for a person to snap and get to a 90, whereas when I'm sober, I would have actually landed at an 8 in terms of being mad. So alcohol has a high contributing factor to how I behave and how I react when I'm drunk, especially when I'm enraged. So everything, especially emotions, they're triple times. And when you spoke of the LSM, I think that's an important one. So people in a very low economic sectors or environments, there's a lot of abuse there. There's a lot of violent acts there. By virtue of them, again, there's an absence of something that they don't have. So by virtue of that, they compensate after actually being very high intoxicated. I mean, if you compare that to the, upper middle class, there's dining there, there's self-composure, there's access to therapists, there's access to a self and understanding who I am. So there's a lot of withdrawal, there's a lot of actual understanding and the precautions of, if I act in this manner, this will actually be shown. So there, people are not wearing masks there. I don't want to mention township names or anything. People don't wear masks there. They up there, people who have a lot of money in millions, they wear a lot of masks to say, in the next morning, the next day, I don't want to be seen as I was the one, Jeffrey was dancing, Jeffrey, oh my word, is cheating on his wife. But there are no masks that are actually worn. People are actually themselves. If they choose to be animals or anything at that time, they're going to act in that way by virtue of them being contributed by alcohol as well.
So I think we had a very good discussion. I think we've gone through all forms of it. I think I mentioned a little part about the work, but I'm not we're not here for HR. But anyway, just your final part on love and relationship, but just your final words on all forms of it. So family, romantic. I know you're saying marriage. Okay. So romantic, I mean non-married. Marriage. And friendship. Lastly, it's the last thing. So then we can
move on to the next chapter. Thank you guys, and I'm sure you've been intrigued by Mr. McNeil here mentioning his own escapades, and I'm not saying that he's speaking of experience, but I'm just hoping he's not. Anyways, I'm not there. But love for me, love is love when love is performed. Love is a very important commodity that anyone and everyone has. I think love is the highest debt that we have on earth. Whether from a romantic type of relationship, it forms the foundation of it all. If I'm comfortable with you, if I'm expressing a high level of actually, being wanting to procreate with you, it means I trust you, it means I see a future with you. Friendship is the same as well. Friendship, love there coincides or go hands in hand with the level of trust as well. It means I can confide in you, and there's nothing more important and nothing that is actually scarce in this world that we live in as scarce as a friend, as a person whom you can talk to and face life and say anything and anything that you'd like to share. So I urge you all to actually express love and see it in that light as well. So it's important. Marriage, love then is not the only thing, according to me though. You can definitely quote me on that. Love shouldn't actually be the only thing that rushes you into marriage, as well as love is not the only thing that should keep you in marriage. Communication, partnership, teamwork, and also understanding that you're bringing two families unto one as well, because we're going to procreate and create a lot of children here. We're not wanting to bring them to a world or to a lifestyle that is actually not, in sync with what we believe in. So love for me is still love. I still believe in that.
Thank you very much.
Most welcome, sir. Don't kiss my hand.
Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I don't. We are always talking about love. Thank you, everyone. This was our first episode on love and relationships. I think it's very important. I think the doc, I can't speak more than what the doc said. And then he'll give you his details if you feel that you need to speak to any psychologist. Doc, your details.
No, they can find me on Instagram, dr_beta. I'm based in 4 ways. Just pop me a DM. I'll be able to advise and to also refer as well. So yeah, I'm not here because I want you guys to come see me. I'm here as a igniting thought, actually, to maybe say that let me maybe book that appointment.
Okay, thank you very much.